NTA2Lagos Network Center.
Family of late Chief Afie Ojarikre of Mosoga Kingdom, Ethiopia West Local Government Area, Delta State, announced the home call of her beloved son, brother, father, grandfather, and father-in-law, Sir Chief Jonathan Ejinave Ojarikre, the Ochukwurovi of Mosoga Kingdom, who passed on to glory on the 1st of November 2017, aged 76. Funeral arrangement: Thursday 26th April 2018, Vigil Mass at St. Patrick Catholic Church, Yoruba Road, Sapele at 5 p.m. Friday 27th April 2018, Funeral Mass at St. Patrick Catholic Church, Yoruba Road, Sapele at 10 a.m. Interment at his compound at Mosoga at 1 p.m. Reception and in-laws greetings follows immediately at Amori Primary School, Mosoga. Sunday 29th April 2018, Thanksgiving Mass at St. Patrick Catholic Church, Yoruba Road, Sapele at 8 a.m. Sir Chief Jonathan Ejinave Ojarikre is survived with wives and many children. Announcer, Chief Davis Ojarikre for the family. The family of late Chief Afie
service of the NTA.
Professor Tumbeye Mazunofe Antinela Professor Swallow Yibo Antinela Don't be silly about Juju Komiwe Antinela Don't be Wakabu Katakabu Antinela Erudite Professor Swallow Yibo Erudite Professor.
Get an unfair advantage that puts you in front of everyone else. Be the first to have an immersive movie experience. 1,000 Naira equals 2 gigabytes. That's 30 hours of video content. With the power to broadcast yourself, the world is your stage. 2,500 Naira equals 7.2 gigabytes that lets you upload 120 hours of dance video. Get the unfair advantage powered by Glow Data Unmatched. Dial *777#.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
She is feeling her stomach again. With good food in my son's house. Later she will go and deliver it all in the toilets. Other women fill their stomach and deliver in maternity wards. Bouncing baby boys, bouncing baby girls, even twins. All you know how to do is eat all the best of the beverages, best fruits, and at the end of the day, you walk straight into the restroom and do something smelly.
I am not ready for childbirth now. My husband and I want to get used to being married before we start making babies.
After 5 years. Interesting. Stop eating great food. Go to my son's room and get pregnant. JD, man.
Benita!
Yes, honey.
Did I hear you say you've been deliberately practicing family planning method in order not to get pregnant? Did I hear you right?
Honey, please. Can we do this inside? Let's just talk about it.
Hey! Don't you dare come close to me, because if you do, what I will do to you will make you regret your actions all the days of your life.
Go in! Get in here and explain yourself.
Leave me alone now. Let me go in myself now. She will be dragging me this morning. What did happen? I just won't pick in. Don't come with me.
My Lord Aura.
Oh, yes.
Behold, Charity, the baby factory.
Professor.
Oh, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Ori. Hello, Charity.
Hello, Professor. What's in there now?
Are they here now? They look you now. As if you say you be born through away now.
Professor. You be funny man, no? You funny die. One day, me and you will born picking together.
No! You should have talked to like that. No, you should have talked to like that.
It's okay.
Professor, please, sorry. For that insult, this girl is mad. Is you?
It's okay, Madam Ori. She is carefree and unrepentant. I have better ways of treating her type. All right, everyone, bend your pelvic girdle forward. Sit down.
Just open your buka cavity and talk to Professor Mayaga like that. Rubbish. Oga, my lord.
Oh, yes.
I've been reading, sir.
Really? You have been reading, I can see.
Fine girl. Give me 2 more bottles.
Charity, according to your mom, you were pregnant last month.
Yes.
A year and a half ago, you were also pregnant.
Yes.
4 years ago too, you were pregnant.
That is the first one. Is it? Almost. That was the first one.
How old are you?
22 years, Baba.
Alas, 22 years. And you have mothered 3 children already.
As we see you be drink. Is your life okay?
You know, sometimes I wonder if the mountains can rise up and cover my shame. If all the waters in the Atlantic Ocean can wash away my shame. If the air can raise dust from the desert to cover my shame. Give me beer, Biko. Just give me.
Now, where are these offsprings of yours, if I may ask? I mean, where are your children, or your posterity, or your produce, or your progenitor?
Huh? Professor, don't use me and my children practice English. Anyway, should we then say I be disgraced now? Say I carry belle born for house without husband. My first belle, then disgrace me well. Anyway, I don't sell them.
You did what?
I don't sell my pikin. Ha! Ha! I sell them. Even the first one, the second one, the third one, I don't sell or join.
Young girl, how do you live with yourself? How do you sleep at night? You mean you don't dream of your lost children? You don't hear them calling you Mama? When you look through the door and window, you don't hear anything?
Professor, I don't hear anything, no.
Madam Ori, is this really your child? She's inveterate, incorrigible, unrepentant, unreformable, unregenerate.
It's 7 babies. Oga, my lord, I can investigate who they buy the babies and offsprings.
Children.
Oga, my lord.
I am overwhelmed.
Myself, overgasted.
Yes, what is it? So you, this woman, you did not go to work today. If they sack you now, you come back here and being a liability to my brother, plus being a barren human. What kind of evil are you in this family, you, this woman?
It's been okay. It's been very, very sick. It's been not talked like that. Oh! She's been sick.
She's pregnant.
Hey! I be telling you. This woman is be sick. It's me open the door. You go inside now.
Hey! Chai! So you have been drinking. Hi! So it is a drunk my brother has been married to all these years.
Do smart.
My mother must hear this.
Mama! Comment ça va? Tu vas bien? Bonsoir. Afternoon. So you're a friend to this witch? I've been friend. Both of you ganged up to be eating the babies in her womb. She give me, mon Dieu, isn't it? You don't say like that. It's been sick now. Anything you like, just say it. You will not ruin my son again, you will not. Enough is enough. She must leave my son's house. My papa pale anything you like, just say it.
Dirty. And you smell of vomit. Go and have a bath.
It's always we do like this. This one is small. You've not seen anything. War is still coming. And this time around it's going to be hot water. Since you started drinking away my son's money, Dala, just wait. Hold on. Wait. Come, let's go. Come.
Professor Jumbo. Professor Jumbo.
How many locations competition is in? Who knows?
6 in Lagos, 8 in Abuja, and opening another in about next week.
Who is the guy?
No, man. Moses was at Chelsea. Then he went to Liverpool. But before that, he was at
Crystal Palace 2007. Joined Chelsea 2012. 42 career goals.
This coffee is nice. I wonder where it's from.
This blend is actually from Brazil. However, coffee originated in Ethiopia in the 13th century.
Wow. Connect from any network with Glow MiFi. Share and enjoy 4G data speeds on any 2G or 3G device. Get a Glow 4G MiFi 16 gigabytes of data for only 16,000 naira.
Flavor.
Real name is Chinedu Okoli, born 1983.
Chinedu.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
What makes you sell these children? Is it the greed for money, or because your mother frowned at your first pregnancy because it was out of wedlock? I mean, marriage.
Professor, no need to explain them. I'm amiable wedlock. Baba, listen, let me tell you. I dey sell my pikin them because after I sell my first one, the person went buy am give me 250,000 naira. I cry well. Then I come strong. I can't see the money now. I can't use the money. They buy fine clothes. I can't see the sweetness of money. So I called the woman way buy my first pikin. I said, Madam, if I carry belle again, if I born another pikin, she be you go still pay me. She said yes. She will even bring myself when go even give me the belle. Ah! Charity! Oh. So that's that. The man come, we do we do the thing. I carry belle one time, another 250K they wait me. So I'll still do them again.
I still plan to do them again.
You go give me belle. If you're ready, Oyana, you do the thing, share the money.
Professor, not my lord. What is bello?
Well, it's a syndicate. A child harvesting syndicate. Now, Charity, tell me, when I plenty where they do this in Abi?
Baba, we plenty. Some girls safe, if they carry belle, our madam go carry them. They feed them till they born the pikin. At least I can count up to 15 girls where they do and now as we talk.
And you know what? I will take you to the police. For giving them information, I will ensure you are let off easily. But this thing must stop. Now, are you ready to help this country become a better place by helping us to smash this syndicate?
Baba, stop on. I don't give you any information. Until waiting now. Until saboteur or informant. They bring that one. Beg. Stop on.
Oh yeah, they come.
Wait, please.
Oh. Go inside. Oh. Hi. Don't mind him. The two idiot boy. Oh.
3 years went by. The love became bitter. As bitter as the root of a noble leaf. My mother-in-law's praises for my beauty became dark. As dark as the venom of the black mamba snake. My husband's love for me became like the breeze of a fan set above the bed, blowing across me, but hardly touching me. I shrank. I died. I am still dead. On only the cry of a baby. Only the cry of my own baby can open up my grave and bring me back to life. And I hear you sell your own children. How? Those who have know not what it means not to have. Please, give me your nature and take mine. Sell it to me if it can be bought with money. I want to get pregnant as easily as you do it. And I swear by my life, I will die for my child. I will be a mother to my child in every imaginable way. I cannot sell my oh my God, please. Let me look for my child. I know the woman that bought the last one. Please, know where she lives. I will tell you everything, please. Let me look for my child.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll go to the police and get these people. We'll do all we can to get your child back. At least the one you know where she is.
Thank God I've never had the D&C. Children are really so precious.
Honestly, Jumo baby, they should be protected at all costs. Even in warfare. If I have one wish to make, I will wish that all the children in the world are safe from harm. Any harm at all.
And may your wish be granted. So help us, God.
Amen, my Jumo baby. And the one we're gonna have together, our cute baby, they will be safe too.
No. Olivia.
Am I now holding up? If only I had no children by now.
I have not come to your house to judge. I've only come to ask that you put yourselves in this woman's shoes. Nobody chooses to be barren. It is life. It could be anybody. Even the unmarried lady who is your sister-in-law. Do you know what awaits you in your own husband's house? Well, you and your family show Benita some love. Love will make her relaxed. Love will balance her hormones. Yes. She stands a greater chance of being pregnant when she's happy. She has been in my house taking refuge for the past 1 week. As a refugee. Afraid to come back home. But today, we decided to take the bull by the horns after we spoke to bring her home. So I'm here as a follow-up after my numerous discussions with you over the phone to talk about your wife.
This thing is not yours, woman alone. That they say woman is barren. Man too can be barren.
Exactly. And we're always blaming the women.
Now, true, Professor. You see, in medical test, you good for husband and wife.
Even exam.
Yes, and
exam, medical paper.
Mr. Bob, make you a checker yourself. What? You, a pit can be the fault.
No scratch head. There is no headache.
The greatest medicine is love.
Yes. Sit here. Stop crying, okay?
Benita, please. I'm so sorry for all the pains I've caused you. Sorry for everything. See, I support the fact that both of you, not just you alone, both of you should go for medical check.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Since everyone has agreed to forgive you, I'll try to be your friend again.
Thank you for seconding the emotion.
Well, honey, I am very sorry, okay? You see, baby or no baby, I am still in love with you. It's just that I am human. And I long to have my own child.
I know. I am sorry.
Don't say that, okay? It is not your fault. See, if we can't have a child of ours, then we'll simply adopt. And we love him or her, okay?
That is the spirit. It does not matter how we wish things were. What matters is what we're able to do with how things are.
With what?
I have got good news for you. We found Charity's daughter. Oh yes. Cute, pretty girl. She's presently reunited with her mother. We also smashed the child-bearing syndicate, and the appropriate authorities are handling the matter. I'm glad. Now to Benita and how the society and families treat a childless woman. Minus religion. The childbearing process is a biological process, and no two human bodies are the same. Oh yes. Some are more fertile than the others. Now, given that all other things are equal, no woman should be punished emotionally, psychologically, or physically for being unable to bear a child. Oh yes. She's going through enough torture already. Please, do not add to her sorrow. The society must be merciful. Now tell me one woman who has got herself pregnant by her own doing. Even with in vitro insemination, which sometimes fails, it is nature that works, and we must not blame man for the success or failures or delays of nature. Oh yes, husbands, be gentle with your childless wives and keep trying. And I tell you, one day, just one day, it will be all right. If not, go to an orphanage and adopt a child. Give that child love, and that child will be your child. Do not listen to what anyone says. Fatherhood or motherhood goes beyond giving birth or making a woman pregnant. Oh yes, I have spoken. Until I come your way again, I remain Jabul Eriwawago Makati Makwiwe, Professor, your friend. Oh yes, over and out.
Professor Jumbo. Professor Jumbo.
Get an unfair advantage that puts you in front of everyone else. Be the first to create the latest online trends. Be the first to make the news. 4,000 Naira equals 12.5 gigabytes to upload over 5,000 pictures. Sell to more people faster than anyone else. 500 Naira equals 1 gigabyte for unlimited chatting. Be the first to know. Live on the fast lane and always stay connected to a world on the move. 5 equals 15.6 gigabytes for 50 hours of unlimited video calling. Get the unfair advantage powered by Glow Data Unmatched. Dial *777#.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Professor Tumbeye Manzunofe Antinela Professor Swallow Yibo Antinela Don't be silly of what you call me Antinela Don't be wako Katakobu Antinela Erudite Professor Swallow Yibo Erudite Professor. Change up me level. That's why me I mash up the devil. Remember the days me a struggle. No girl want kiss and cuddle. Me only day another level. Go tell them me better than devil. Girl make you flex up your muscle. Wine to the bass and the treble. Things that come my way. Better believe the things I say. As a real rasta man, me must feel irate. Good up on me knees and I pray. Good prophecies in my life come my way. Tell them again. Every day is my by day. We are party and we are feel irate. As me say, the haters they want we to follow. But we are grind, we are stay tough. Yeah. Go tell them say we can play around. Cause deep in our hearts we got one love. Change up me level. That's why me I mash up the devil. Remember the day me a struggle. No girl want kiss and cuddle. Me money day another level. Go tell them me better than devil. Girl make you flex up your muscle. Wine to the bass and the treble. Celebration in the air, jubilation everywhere, appreciation just in case. In our nation, love we share. See everybody, them are touching, them are loving, them are kissing, them are hugging, them are touching me. I so we love it when the haters, them are loving, them are hating, them are rating, player hating me. I just wanna see you go, go. We expect we don't go. Jordan promise me tomorrow. So we gonna live without sorrow. And let do my race change up me level. That's why me I mash up the devil. Remember the day me a struggle. No girl want kiss and cuddle. Me money day another level. Go tell them me better than devil. Girl make you flex up your muscle. Wine to the bass and the treble.
Slavery is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves.
This dinner is always an opportunity for us to come together as friends.
Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting ends in London.
We need President Muhammad Buhari, and regardless of who you worship, what God you call upon, please pray for the man.
Nigerians in the UK support President Buhari's second-term bid. Plus, Operation Last Hold. Army moves to enhance return of IDPs and socio-economic activities in northern Borno State. Good evening. Welcome to NTA Network News. I am Cyril Stober in Abuja. And also tonight, Elizabeth Omori is in Lagos, Jummai Yusuf is in Maiduguri, and Agatha Egware-Ujo is in our Benin Center. It was a busy day for President Muhammadu Buhari in London as the heads of state and government held a strategic leaders retreat aimed at safeguarding the future of the Commonwealth. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that the retreat, unique to the Commonwealth, marks the end of the week-long summit aimed at making the organization effectively act as a force for good in the world.
Described as informal segment of Chogum, the leaders' retreat at Windsor Castle provides an opportunity for the heads of state and government to meet intimately and privately without any preset agenda and without the presence of their aides. Global and Commonwealth priorities are the major focus as the leaders consider reform and renewal of the organization, one of the world's political association of states. At the opening of the retreat, British Prime Minister Theresa May spoke about the shared challenges as member nations strive to build a more secure, sustainable, prosperous and fairer Commonwealth.
Of course, a conversation about these challenges cannot ignore the fact that at the very moment that international cooperation is so important, some nations are choosing instead to shun the rules-based system that underpins global security and prosperity. But I look forward to discussing how the Commonwealth can play its part to support the rules-based order and the very concept of international cooperation.
And it was a formal welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari and his wife Aisha by Queen Elizabeth II as they arrived Buckingham Palace Thursday evening for a special dinner hosted by the 92-year-old British monarch.
This dinner is always an opportunity for us to come together as friends, and I'm grateful that so many of you are here with us this time. I know that all my family join me in wishing you a very enjoyable evening.
The Commonwealth, made up of 53 countries across 6 continents, represents 1/5 of global trade and 1/3 of the world's population. From London, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Prince of Wales and heir to the British throne, Prince Charles, has been adopted as the new head of the Commonwealth. This is contained in a 9-point communique issued by the heads of state and government of the Commonwealth at the end of the 2018 summit in London. Prince Charles is to succeed his aging mother and Queen of England, Elizabeth, who has been leading the organization for about 70 years now. At a joint news conference, British Prime Minister Theresa May announced the resolve by member nations to work together and support each other towards a common future.
For the Commonwealth to endure, we must demonstrate our relevance and purpose anew. Today, I believe we have done that.
Our Blue Charter, our Cyber Declaration, our commitments to uphold the rules-based international order, to fight protectionism, to defeat malaria, invest in education for all our young people. In all these ways and more, the Commonwealth has found its voice, and we can look forward to a bright future with confidence.
We're also going to be supporting more inclusive economic growth and sustainable development programs to enable increased international trade, employment and business growth, while promoting the sustainable development of natural resources and developing improved climate finance frameworks. The heads asked for action, concrete action on the ground, which will have the impact which is needed to change the lives of our 2.4 billion people within our Commonwealth.
Rwanda has been selected to host the next summit of the Commonwealth. Well, I'm being joined now to speak more on this by Dr. Cletus Acquire, International Affairs Analyst. Dr. Acquire, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, what's the import of the Commonwealth? Yes, it's been on for so long, and yes, an association of Britain and its former colonies. But what's the import? Now, give us your opinion, given the fact that considered things like security trade in this last summit.
Yeah, the Commonwealth has become a very important international organization, looking at the membership of all 53 countries. And these are countries that are impacting on international politics, international economy in terms of trade. And for over 50 years, Nigeria has been a member of the Commonwealth. And I think we as a nation need to develop capacity to take advantage of some of the enormous opportunities that the Commonwealth can offer. For instance, trade. The intra-Commonwealth trade is in the region of $600 to $650 billion annually, and it is up to Nigeria to take advantage of the trade opportunity that exists within the Commonwealth member countries. So the Commonwealth exists not just to be a voice for the membership, but also to cater for issues of development in terms of promotion of democracy, international trade, security, and now they're discussing climate change, good governance.
It's over 2,000 teachers representing 469 primary schools across the state were trained on new teaching methods, deployment of information and communication technology tools in teaching, harmonization of teaching and learning outcomes across locations, as well as the adoption of interactive classroom. The aim is to reposition teachers in the state in line with modern-day realities. Governor Baseki, who described the response as a sign of success, said the initiative will include governance and institutional development, teachers and curriculum development, community participation and partnership, infrastructure and organizational development. He said henceforth, the position of head teacher will be on competence, just as anyone who built on land belonging to any school risks its forfeiture. The chairman, NUT, Edo State, Comrade Pius Ohwenigbe, described the initiative as worthwhile as he pledged the support of the union. In Benin, I am Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
That's the package from this end. The news continues with Jumai in Maiduguri.
Thank you very much, and a very warm welcome to Maiduguri. 7 Boko Haram terrorists have surrendered to troops of Operation Lafia Dole in the front line of counter-insurgency Operation Deep Punch 2. Theater Commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Rogers Nicholas, who paraded the repentant terrorists, charged others within but still in hiding to take advantage of the opportunity of a dignified life provided by the federal government. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
These latest 7 repentant Boko Haram terrorists comprise 3 adult males, a female, and 3 children who surrendered in Kumshe of Bama local government area near the Samiza forest. Major General Rogers Nicholas said troops on operations in the theater are making efforts to reach out to those that want to surrender, which led to this first batch that include 2 Boko Haram commanders, a medical practitioner, and women leader.
Well, giving them medical attention, giving them food, and also try to recruit them to make them clean. They are part of us, and we don't have any regret having them. You'll be happy if more of them can come out.
The theater commander said they have been treated humanely since their surrender, against the belief of others that think the army is only out to kill, and will undergo profiling and other de-radicalization process under the Operation Safe Corridor of the federal government. In an interview with NTA News, some of the repentant Boko Haram members who confirmed their former membership to Shekau faction said they heeded the call of the federal government that they are also Nigerians, hence surrendered and begged for forgiveness.
Amma ina da mutane ya fi 300 wanda suna da fitowa.
About 300 fighters are willing to surrender, but waiting to see our fate before they come out.
They called on others to come out and live a dignified life. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
That's our beat from Maiduguri. It's back to Cyril in Abuja for more on NTA Network News.
Well, thank you, Jubei. And back here in Abuja, the federal government is to include the annual African Drums Festival in the National Arts Calendar as part of efforts to maximize the potential of the country's culture and tourism sector. Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, made this known at the opening of the 2018 African Drum Festival in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Lekon Agbode reports.
State African Drum Festival is becoming an household name across the globe with its color and glamour, an event to look forward to amongst tourists and lovers of music, culture and tradition. The 2018 edition, no doubt, is an improvement of the previous two editions, as it yet brought together distinguished Nigerians, especially monarchs, who are the custodians of culture and traditions, to Abeokuta. Assemblage of drums of various makes, shapes and sizes, as well as talented drummers and artists drum from across Nigeria, Africa and other continents of the world to provide enjoyable vibes for thousands of audience. Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, noted that federal government will give backing to the annual event and explore the opportunities it provides for tourism and culture towards economic development of Nigeria.
We will continue to support this festival by making all our media platforms available to create awareness for it. We will also ensure that it is included in our national calendar of festivals when the calendar which we are working on is ready. The Drum Festival keys into our objective of turning the creative industry into a thriving industry.
The state governor, Ibikule Amosun, noted that the festival will continue to improve every year to give tourists enough to enjoy.
Let it be told that the African Drum Festival has not only come to stay in Nigeria State, but will be bequeathed to the next generation and the big generations yet to come as a way of advancing the uniqueness and custom, tradition and cultural heritage.
The 2018 African Drum Festival was, however, declared open with beating of drum by the governor and the minister. Lekon Agbode, NTA News.
The need to project one united Nigeria free of violence has again been stressed. This was at a courtesy visit by Obinna Simon, popular as MC Tagwe, to the NTA management. Serafina Okon reports.
Is a security issue, and all strategies have been taken.
Obinna Simon, popular as MC Tagwaye, who is well known for his skills at mimicking President Muhammadu Buhari, is leveraging on his fame to help in building a socially responsible citizenry. The Nigerian Comic Act was at the NTA to pay a courtesy call on the management, where he shared his plan to use his gift for promoting national peace, especially as the elections draw close.
Nigeria Before Our Eyes is a comedy series I want to embark on, entertainment and comedy. It's realized that a lot of Nigerians tend to turn up for anything that has to do with entertainment. So we want to use that medium to pass to them, or better still, campaign for non-violence during election, before election, during election, and after election.
Through his projects, Nigeria Before Our Eyes, NTA2Lagos aims to address critical issues affecting the nation presently. Representing the Director General, Director News Aliu Baba Barao promised that the authority will provide necessary assistance possible.
And as you see, your representation of Mr. President and so many fora, it has to do with his representation of Nigeria, the kind of people we are.
When you make a change, then you leaving your name in the sands of time.
The project is expected to commence soon. Serafina Okon, NTA News.
Brilliant. Put an older face and you could well be listening to President Buhari. Time for another quick break. Stay with us.
Our Anchor Borers program has created an agricultural revolution. In September 2015, we imported 644,000 tons of rice, costing more than $5 million per day. By September 2017, rice imports dropped by 95% to 22,000 tons. Our maize crop has exceeded 10 million tons this year, and through our rice and maize program, we now have 12.2 million farmers. We are now the world's second largest producer of sorghum after the United States, third in millet after India, and we lead the world's production of yam and cassava. We've created numerous plantations solely for the export market, and our plan is to increase the agricultural sector from 25 to 49% of our GDP, thereby reducing poverty and increasing food security.
Sport now, and Ayodeji Makinde brings us up to date.
12 polo clubs will compete for honors in the 9th anniversary celebration of the Abuja Unity Polo Tournament, billed for May 8 to 13. Organizers who held a media party in Abuja Thursday revealed that 4 teams each will compete in the high goal, medium goal, and intermediate goal categories, with the President's Cup, Legislative Shield, and Guards Brigade Cup at stake.
Definitely, there's going to be a good number of foreign players, foreign participation. You can't expect anything but the best from this edition of this tournament.
A winner is set to emerge Saturday in one of the 3-phase 2018 Abuja Tennis Open as the Tom Bim Championship climax, with the Dayak and Gladiators Championships set to complete the 3-week showdown afterwards. Organizers, however, expressed satisfaction with the quality of the competition as both Nigerian and foreign players continue to display high performances.
Opportunity to give our players matches where they can win ranking points, ATP ranking points.
Arsene Wenger is to leave Arsenal at the end of the season, ending a near 22-year reign as manager. The 68-year-old Frenchman, who departs a year before his latest contract is due to expire, won 3 Premier League titles and 7 FA Cups, including the double in 1998 and 2002.
He has done well, he has left a legacy. It's high time for him to bow out so that the club can move on.
Thomas Tuchel, Patrick Vieira, Joachim Löw, and Carlo Ancelotti have all been mentioned as possible replacements for Arsene Wenger at the Emirates Stadium. With sports updates, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
Which way the weather? Let's get a weather forecast.
Hello, it's good to bring you the weekend forecast. It's been a flurry of weather activities, predominantly entire Friday, but we expect some bit of respite going into Saturday, with predominantly partly cloudy to cloudy conditions expected across the north of the country to the central cities, with the exception of places around Ikom, Obudu-Makurdi axis and part of the southeast coast, where some early morning thunderstorms are likely. And as we progress into the afternoon, we expect pockets of isolated thunderstorms over part of the central states and the southern north, parts of Zaria, Kaduna, Jos axis extending to some part of Yewa, some part of Abuja, the inland of the southeast and part of the coast of the southeast, a few places around Benin and Akure axis and part of Lagos could also see some isolated thunderstorms in the late evening hours. And that's where we'll leave you for these tidbits. Do enjoy your weekends and stay tuned for our temperature forecast.
That concludes Network News tonight. We thank you for watching. I'm Cyril Stober. Have a pleasant weekend.
NTA2Lagos Network Center.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأهل آله وصحبه وسلم Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome to Islam, the way of life, and we thank Allah the Almighty for making us witness another beautiful day on the surface of this earth, and we pray that He continues to shower His peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his sahabas, and the generality of Muslim Ummah. I am Zulaykha Abodiri, and you're welcome to this interesting edition of Islam, the way of life. Today we'll be talking about hijab and modesty. Hijab, as you know, is that special piece of cloth that identifies and distinguishes a Muslim woman. And to do justice to this topic, today we have a seasoned guest in the studio. But before we go on, let's go for a quick break, after which the program will continue. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره
Alhamdulillah, you're welcome back. The program is still Islam, the way of life. And as I said before we went for that break, I said we have a seasoned guest in the studio today. Her name is Ajia Gonia Tijani Adenle. She is a social media activist and a lecturer at the School of Communication, Lagos State University. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. You're welcome. Jazakumullah khairan for coming. So to kickstart this discussion, let's talk about what the hijab is. You know, many people see the hijab as many things. A lot of people see the hijab as a head cover, a head scarf. Some people even refer to it as a veil. What exactly do you think the hijab is?
Okay, well, the hijab is many things. The hijab is your modesty, the way you dress, you know, ensuring that you dress in a way that, you know, portrays you as a Muslim woman, to be treated with respect and, you know, integrity. The hijab is also your character, your personality, you know, that shows you doing the right thing, carrying yourself well, the way Allah would, you know, want you to do. And you see, I think there's something we always do when we talk about the hijab, and we seem to limit it to the Muslim woman. Well, you see, it's not just for the woman. Even males, Muslim males also have requirements, you know, that dictate, you know, what they can expose to non-family members, you know, how they should dress, how they should carry themselves. So the hijab is not limited to only female, and it's not just about dressing. It's about your behavior, your personality, the way you carry yourself, the things you do, the things you say, where you go, where you don't go. You know, it's more about your personality, what you do, what you cannot do. It's more than a physical thing. It's everything. It's
more than just the clothes.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so the men to observe hijab.
Oh yes, they do observe hijab. A Muslim man is not, you know, expected to go out, you know, to a public place wearing something that is, you know, below his knee, and all that. So it's not. The thing is just that for women it's more, and that's because of the way God has created us. But it's not restricted to only women, to only the woman. It also applies to the males as well.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Having identified what the hijab is, what is the status of hijab in Islam?
Well, I'm really happy you asked this question, because among Muslims and even among non-Muslims, people attach different status to the hijab. For Muslims, the hijab is a requirement by God Almighty for women and then men, you know, to cover themselves whenever they're going out to meet people that are not members of their family. And it is also the way you carry yourself. In fact, there are verses of the Quran that says, oh, when you are talking as a woman, do not be soft in speech, so that you don't entice or excite men. So it's about, okay, even the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. And it's also symbolic. And then, okay, for non-Muslims, some people think, oh, Muslims, they want to, you know, control their women, they want to dominate them, or they don't want them to be free. And so the hijab is something they, you know, the mandate or force them to use so that they can be humbled, or they can, you know,
be more submissive
or something like that. But it's definitely not. And I'll say that in fact, 90% or 100% of women who wear the hijab choose to wear the hijab, because any woman, okay, I think it's the innate. We women want to show your beauty. You want to be beautiful. You want to be seen to be beautiful. You want to be appreciated and all that. So it takes the fear of God. It takes courage. It takes respect. You know, confidence in yourself to actually say, no, I'm going to obey God. I'm going to carry myself the right way and not allow my desires to, you know, to overrun, you know, what is actually the right thing to do.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So moving back to the topic now, is there any correlation between hijab and modesty?
Well, there's a lot of correlation. I know a lot of people say, look, pure at heart, you know, I'm a good person, and so even if I don't wear the hijab, it doesn't matter. And I also know a lot of people say, of course, that people wear the hijab, and okay, you can question their character or something like that. But you see, I feel those are the exceptions. The reality is, the norm is the way you look. I mean, portrays who you are, what you do. They tell us about you. And so the hijab, to a large extent, yes, the hijab shows majesty, because it takes a lot, like I said earlier, to, you know, to cover your nakedness, to actually subdue your desires and not, be thrown to wanton display or revel in your beauty or its impacts on people, the effects that it has on people and all that. So it takes somebody with modesty to stand out. I mean, in this 21st century, you actually stand out. So it takes someone with modesty, with faith, with discipline, maturity, to actually say, I choose to stand out. I choose not to follow the crowd. I choose not to follow the trend. I choose to do the right thing. So the hijab has a lot to do with modesty, because and then wearing the hijab, just like so many other things about Islam curtail you, just like prayer curtails you from evil actions, it's going to be very difficult for me to wear the hijab and then go to a nightclub. It's going to be difficult for me to wear the hijab and then go and buy alcohol. It's going to be difficult for me to wear the hijab and then start fighting. Even if you get carried away and people will remind you, sorry, aren't you this? So it helps you to be modest. It helps you to imbibe, to abide by the principles. And so there's really a lot to do with, there's really a lot of correlation between hijab and modesty. You cannot be wearing the hijab and refuse to be modest. People would even challenge you and let you know that this does not, what you're doing or what you have just said does not represent what you're dressing actually connotes. And then if you say, okay, no, I'm not wearing the hijab, and I can actually display, people will not look at your heart, because people can't read your heart. So they're going to tell you, oh, how can you claim you're modest and then you're dressing like this? And that is why, of course, human rights activists go out of their way to actually tell people in rape cases, for instance, that it is not fair. You can't justify rape by saying, oh, the woman is not properly dressed. It is a hate crime. It doesn't justify, because, I mean, even if you look at people who rape young children, very young children, you know that it is not, nakedness is not an excuse for rape, but the reality is that it is still something we fight, because people still believe that if a woman does not carry herself well, that some by God can actually use it to justify whatever one doing that. I'm not supporting that. It doesn't make sense whatsoever, but I'm just trying to let you know the extent to which people actually regard the way you carry yourself to how they see you and the things they think they can do to you or with you.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So going by the number of misconceptions about the hijab, what do you think is the role of the Muslim woman in educating people about the hijab?
Definitely, well, it's not just about even the hijab. Wherever you are, if you believe in a cause, you have to go out of your way to to enlighten people about it, to let them, to orientate them and all that. But I feel that sometimes it's not just about the Muslim woman enlightening people about the hijab. Sometimes some people just choose not to understand because, okay, maybe because they are not Muslims, or because it doesn't go. Accepting you understand, now enforces you to have to abide by it or accept it, and they don't want to. But I feel that, okay, yes, Muslim women or Muslim men or Muslims in general can let people know, look, this is not a cloth of oppression or suppression. This is not anti-progressive. This is not against education or civilization. This is about the injunction of God. This is about spirituality. This is about the social culture of Muslims, and this is something that actually that portrays the woman with the right integrity that actually that is due to her. So okay, well, we have that role, but I also feel that people also need to be more open, more objective, less subjective and okay, well, not centrocentric and saying, okay, because you're not a Muslim, then you don't want to. And you see, the thing about accepting the hijab is you don't even have to wear it yourself, but you can accept, you can be frank and objective that this is something that is good. It doesn't constitute, it prevents people from constituting nuisance and offending the sensibilities of people when women dress well. The reality is that our sight sends a lot of messages to our brains, and men are also moved a lot by sight compared to women, and so they react to what they see. I mean, except you want to be hypocritical. Even as a woman, if you see a beautiful woman, you will appreciate it, you will accept it. And so it is really important that women we respect ourselves and we don't offend the sensibilities of people, and we we maintain social stability and not encourage vices or things that would affect the decorum of the society.
Alhamdulillah. So Ajagoniya, let's talk about the implication of the President Muhammad Buhari's statement at the recently held media chats. Do you think people are right in interpreting the president's statements?
Well, I believe that Nigerian being what it is, multicultural, multi-religious, you know, multi-ethnic, we all have different interests. And I feel what happened was a lot of people who already have biases against the hijab, who don't want to see it, who are not comfortable with Muslim women, you know, the way we carry ourselves, simply lashed onto that statement to actually justify their very wrong actions. So I feel that, okay, in as much as the president might have said something that gives people the impression that, oh, they are very concerned that terrorists are actually, you know, disguising as Muslim women to cause attacks and all of that. It wasn't there was no explicit statement saying that the rights of Muslim women, because you see, we have a right, constitution of the federal government of Nigeria, international statutes, and so many. I mean, it is something Muslim women, where there is right to freedom of religion, and so we have a right to dress the way we want to dress, and that can't be taken away by a statement. It's going to take a lot, and I mean, it can't even be taken away. But I feel that people who already have their own motives are just simply latching on it to actually, you know, abuse the rights of Muslim women, and I think that's very, very wrong, and we have to speak against it. And you see, the thing is, we don't have to say, oh, until you're a Muslim woman or until you're a Muslim before you speak against it, because like they say, they came for these people, you didn't say anything. When it's your turn, nobody will stand for you. And we have to be objective. You see, the rights of people, human rights, maintaining rights, you know, in the society is something that is very important, and we don't have to look the other way when it affects a certain category of people and only talk when it affects another group of people. If we want to stand for human rights, if we want to stand for social justice, it should apply to everybody, because all human beings are equal. I mean, there are no secondary citizens in this country.
Especially what you said now reminds me of that incident at University College Hospital Ibadan, where a sign was placed at the front that the hijab was banned there. And even not just that, there's been this publication by a top columnist in a national daily that about the hijab. I'm sure you read it. What's your take on it?
Okay, well, the thing is, I want to say that I'm very happy that the management of UCH have actually come out to say, to dissociate themselves from that publication, because it is against the law of this country. It is against the ethics of good governance. It is against fairness and justice and equity. So the thing is, based on that, I'll say that, but I feel that justice should not just be done, it should be seen to be done. The management of the institution cannot say that if some people have actually, you know, gone out of their way to paste a notice saying that the use of hijab was disallowed, they have to not just, you know, it's not enough to just, you know, dissociate yourself. You have to go out of your way to get the people, and then, you know, address this issue. That is when we can know that, okay, you are not just, you know, you are not just avoiding taking responsibility for your actions. So I feel that the management have done the right thing. They've dissociated themselves, but they need to actually investigate, to get to the root of whoever or whatever group that actually pasted that. Because you see, imagine if before they dissociated themselves, some people have actually been denied healthcare, lives could have been lost. And I think that is, I mean, if there's any right that needs to be protected, is the right to life, and something like that has no business happening in a health institution, for crying out loud. So I think that, you know, it's really important that the management of the school, of the institution, should actually get to the bottom to ensure that such a thing does not happen again. Because what's the guarantee that if you don't actually address it, some people will still not do the same thing if there are no deterrents whatsoever? And you see, the thing is, we have to understand that there's a difference between Islam as a religion and the society of Muslims in Nigeria from an individual. There's freedom of thought. An individual Muslim can have a perception or an opinion, but the thing is, that person is not a scholar and is not a representative of Muslims in Nigeria. So I don't think that the perception that, okay, a person's opinion should actually count. It cannot have weight more than the rights of millions of Nigerians in this country. It cannot override the law of Allah that is already written and that is accepted, that is abided by all Muslims all over the world. And it cannot, I mean, you see, the fact that this columnist is not a female shows that he's not in the best position to actually talk about it, because he doesn't wear the hijab. He doesn't know how it feels for a Muslim woman to be denied the right of, wearing the hijab. And that, that shows, that reminds me of the comment of, the person who witnessed the way a Muslim in niqab was actually harassed